Hey, what's up? This is fsx23. I had a little discussion with Sye today. It's going to be a two-parter. Sorry, the audio is kind of bad. It's the first time I use Google Hangouts, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. So,
yeah, I see you've been posting videos about me.
Yeah.
What's your name, by the way, if you want to share that, or don't you?
My first name's Farid.
Free?
Farid.
How do you spell that?
Farid.
F-A-I-R-D?
R-I-D.
Oh, cool. What nationality is that?
My dad's from Africa. My mom's from Kansas. So.
Oh, cool.
American. It's Nigerian, I guess. It's an Arabic name, but I'm not a Muslim or former Muslim or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your issue with me? Why do you keep posting videos about me?
Basically, I was just kind of interested in the arguments you've been putting forward, and I just feel that there are basic issues with the logic that you employ.
Let me correct you on a few things. First of all, that one video you posted where I got kicked off,
Right.
I didn't get kicked off. I walked off.
It's debatable. I guess you got kicked.
It's not debatable. You can see that I said, and I get up, and then the guy says get off the stage after I get up to leave.
I know.
Well,
Some
then,
people thought that you were about to get kicked off and you were just leaving anyway.
right, but then the title of your video is in error. I didn't get kicked off. I walked off.
Okay.
Because the host himself said, why did he do that? Why did he leave?
Right. And the other guy said, go ahead and leave.
So that's inaccurate. So you might want to change that.
Okay.
And as far as the Alex Botten debate, you think that I had my behind handed to me. I really appreciate that you posted that, actually, because I think anybody who's rational could listen to that debate and think that see that it went a completely different way that you imagine.
Anyone who's rational?
Yeah, with Alex Botten, where he denied, where he said that he didn't use his reasoning to justify his reasoning, and then he said that he did because that's all he had. I mean, he contradicted himself so many times in that, but I'm glad you posted that.
Okay. I mean, I disagree with that, but...
Yeah, I realize that, but that's fine. Now, there's a couple arguments that you had in your last video, which you have an issue with. Now, when I say to somebody, could you be wrong about everything you claim to know? And the person says yes. And I say that they've abandoned knowledge. And you disagree with that.
That wasn't your conclusion.
You disagree with that conclusion. You're saying that somebody can say I can be wrong about everything I claim to know, and yet they can have knowledge.
Right, but your conclusion was they couldn't know anything.
Right, that's my conclusion. Now, I want you to explain to me how a person who says they could be wrong about everything they claim to know can have knowledge.
You said they can claim to know things.
My question is, if somebody says they can be wrong about everything they claim to know,
right?
How can they know anything? How can you know something to be true which might be false?
Your premise is claim to know. So why don't you ask them, can you be wrong about everything you know?
No, because you can. If you can know something, it's impossible to be wrong about it.
Exactly. So why isn't that your premise?
But that's not my question.
Your question is, can you be wrong about everything you claim to know? Your conclusion is they cannot know anything.
Right.
If they can claim to know something. You're switching the words from the premise to the conclusion.
No, they can claim to know things.
Exactly. They can claim to know things.
Okay, well, let's do this again.
Right?
If somebody says they can be wrong about everything they claim to know,
yes.
How can they know anything?
The premise is claim to know. Your conclusion is they can't know anything.
Well, listen, we'll do this again.
Right.
If I say to somebody, can you be wrong about everything you claim to know?
Yes.
And he says, yes. Explain to me how they can know anything then.
How would you not be able to know something?
Well, in order to know something, it must be true, correct? You cannot know, for instance, that Elvis Presley is the current president of the United States because it's false.
You can claim to know something, and it could be true or false.
My question is, how can you know something if you say that everything you claim to know could be false?
For example, I claim to know my parents are my actual parents. And I claim to know that. Now, that could actually be false.
Right. Now.
Okay, but I still claim to know it.
Right.
I call it knowledge.
If you say that everything you claim to know could be false, you could be wrong about everything you claim to know, explain to me how you can know anything then.
Well, real quick, I never claimed that everything I know could be false.
I know, but the thing is, you objected to my debate on Bible Thumping Wingnut show where I asked the person, could you be wrong about everything you claim to know? And you objected to that, because I say, once you say you could be wrong about everything you claim to know, you've given up knowledge.
Right.
I want you to explain to me how that's an error. When somebody says I could be wrong about everything I claim to know, how can they know anything?
Well, you haven't explained how that's valid.
Listen, when I said to the person, could you be wrong about everything you claim to know?
Correct.
And he says yes. How can he know anything? That's my question.
You could be wrong. Doesn't mean you are wrong.
Exactly. But doesn't mean that you can know it. My question is...
it doesn't mean... You're concluding that he can't know anything.
That's right.
But that's incorrect.
No, it's not.
He could be wrong about everything. Doesn't mean he is wrong about everything.
That's right. I'm not saying he's wrong about everything. I'm saying he can't know it.
He could know it.
Okay, well then, let's go back again.
All right.
When a person says they could be wrong about everything they claim to know,
right,
explain to me how they can know anything.
They could know something, but they could be wrong. You could claim, okay, like I said, my example with my parents. I could claim to know my parents are my parents, and in fact, they could be. So I could know that, but I could be incorrect. So I'm claiming that I could be wrong. It doesn't mean I am, in fact, wrong.
No, it does, but it means you can't know it.
Well, if that is, in fact, true, do I know it?
No.
I don't?
Okay, let me give you this example. Let's say that you're wearing a watch, correct?
Right. Okay.
And you look at your watch at 3 o'clock, and your watch says 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And you say it's 3 o'clock, but you find out, you go home, and your girlfriend says, oh, I broke your watch 2 weeks ago. And actually, it stopped at 3 o'clock. So when you looked at your watch at 3 o'clock, did you know it was 3 o'clock? Or did it just happen to be true?
You're changing the word claim to know to know. I would claim to know it's 3 o'clock.
You claimed to know it was 3 o'clock, and
Correct.
It was 3 o'clock, but you didn't know it.
I didn't know it. Knowledge is a claim.
Knowledge is a justified true belief.
Is it justified?
Know something, it must be true.
Wait, you said justified. So if I look at a watch and it says the time, am I justified in thinking that's the time?
Well, the thing is not if your watch is broken.
But am I justified in thinking that's the time?
Well, you can claim it, but you can't know it.
But am I justified in thinking that's the time?
No, you're not.
Why would I not be justified?
Your watch was working properly.
Yeah, you assume your watch is working properly.
But you didn't have evidence of it. But let's get back to my question now.
Wait, you slipped that in. Why don't I have evidence my watch is not working properly?
Well, the thing is, if it was stuck at 3 o'clock for the last 2 weeks, then you don't have evidence that it's working properly.
Well, you're adding that in. That's not what you were arguing. You were saying if I look at a watch, do I have evidence it's working properly?
Well, that's just a rabbit trail. Let's get back to the main point.
Well, no, I think I just defeated you on that, right?
Okay, let's get back to the main point. If a person says they can be wrong about everything they claim to know.
And that's all my claim. But go ahead.
Exactly. That was his claim on the show. He said he can be wrong about everything he claims to know. Explain to me how he can know something.
You're confusing two things.
Well, just explain. Because you're saying he can still know things.
Yes, but he could be wrong.
Can you know something that might be wrong?
All right, are we defining know as what is true?
It has to be. Justified true belief. That's the definition of know.
Well, you're using it two ways. Is know what is true or what is justified to be true?
It's justified true belief.
Justified.
It must be true.
Justified or true?
It's all three. Justified true belief.
Right.
Okay, now, if a person could be wrong about everything they claim to know, can they know it to be true?
So knowledge, does it have to actually be true?
Can they know it to be true if they could be wrong?
I know, my question is, does knowledge have to be true? When you're saying, can they know it, are you saying, is it in fact true? Or are they justified?
It's a very simple question. Don't answer.
I'm not dancing around. I'm asking a simple question. When you're saying, do they know it, are you saying that what they are claiming is in fact true?
This might help. Can I know that Elvis Presley is the current president of the United States? Can I know that?
It means what? It depends on what you mean by knowledge. Are you saying knowledge?
Justified true belief.
Justified. So are you justified? So you're saying knowledge is you're justified in making a claim.
Can I know that Elvis Presley is the current president of the United States?
Are you saying no means you're justified in making the claim, or that the claim is in fact true?
Okay, let's agree on the definition of knowledge. Justified true belief. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but you keep changing it after you say that.
Okay, so knowledge is justified true belief, correct?
So it's justified and it's true.
Justified true belief.
So if it's just, so it has to be true.
Yes.
All right, so justified is irrelevant.
No, it's not.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so knowledge is justified true belief.
So
correct?
true belief.
Knowledge is justified true belief. That's the definition of knowledge.
So if you know something and you don't have justification for it, but it's true, it's a knowledge?
If you want to find out what your definition of knowledge is and then come back and do it again, that's fine. But that's a definition of knowledge, justified true belief. If you want to have a different definition of knowledge, fine, research it, and then call me again, and then we'll talk about it. But
I understand the definition of knowledge, but words have multiple definitions, and the context you're using, it kind of depends what you mean depending on the context.
Justified true belief. Do you agree with that definition of knowledge?
It seems like a good definition of knowledge.
Okay, now my question is, can I know that Elvis Presley is the current president of the United States, according to that definition?
If you have justification and it's true. Right?
Is it true?
Is it true? That's a different question than is it knowledge?
Is it true that Elvis Presley is the current president of the United States?
Is it true?
Yes.
Do I have knowledge or is it true?
Have a nice day.
Are you're ending it?
Well, the thing is, if you can't answer a simple question like that, then this is pointless.
I can answer the question, but I feel like you're leading me somewhere, and I'm trying to be clear on the terms.
It's a very simple question. Is Elvis Presley the current president of the United States?
No.
Okay. So can I know that he is?
Can you know that he is a president?
Yes.
I don't understand your question.
Elvis Presley is not the president of the United States. We've agreed on that.
Right.
Can I know that he is?
Can you know that he is a president?
Yes.
No. Well, I mean, you could, but you wouldn't.
Could I know that he is the current president of the United States?
If he was, yes, you could if he was.
Both agree that he's not.
Right.
So could I know that he is? Could I know that he is?
Could you know that he is the president if you know he is not the president?
If he isn't, could I know that he is?
No, if you know Elvis Presley is not the president, you cannot know he is the president.
We both agree that he's not the president. It's false that he's the president, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So therefore, can I know that he's the president?
Could you know?
Could I know it?
If you know he's not?
No. If it's false that he's the president, can I know that he is?
If it's false that Elvis Presley is the president, can you know that he is the president?
Right.
Wouldn't be justified, it wouldn't be true, so no.
Okay, fine. So it's in order to know something, it must be true.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay. So if somebody says they can be wrong about everything they claim to know, how can they know anything to be true?
You added the word claim.
Right, that's fine.
Exactly.
If somebody says, look, I can be wrong about everything, that's what they're saying.
That's his position.
I can be wrong about everything.
Right.
So explain to me how they can know something to be true then, if they could be wrong about it.
Because if they could be wrong, it doesn't mean they are wrong.
Right. Okay, explain to me then, if somebody says I could be wrong about everything I claim to know, explain to me how they can know anything.
They could still know something.
Fine, floor is yours. How can they know something to be true which might be false?
I never said they could know something to be true that could be false.
That's exactly what you're saying.
How is that what I'm saying?
Because they're saying that everything they know might be false.
Might be, but it doesn't mean it is. So some things could be true and some things could be false. The things that are true, they may know.
Okay,
the things that they don't.
Explain to me how a person can know anything to be true if everything they know might be false.
Because some of the things may be true.
Okay, explain to me. Explain to me one knowledge claim that such a person can have.
That may be true. Any knowledge that is true.
If somebody says, just why don't you assume the position of that person who I was talking to? Assume that position. You have just said I could be wrong about everything I claim to know. Correct?
I haven't made that claim.
Assume that person.
All right. If I was a person claiming to be saying that I could be wrong about everything I claim to know, all right.
Okay, now tell me how you can know anything to be true.